What is happening, Magnus sites? Okay, so yesterday I did a video about a few of my exes that had dated these ugly motherfuckers, and basically the half of you got it, half of you didn't get it. I did the video because it bewildered me. It was just a huge curiosity to me that these women that were that hot dated men like that. Wasn't being shallow. I wasn't talking down on those men. I wasn't judging them, okay? By the way, okay, so you know, there are actually 3 exes, maybe 4, that either before me or after me dated like these. And look, one of you had thought that I was judging. They were like, oh, you're judging them on their looks. Every single one of these relationships were also failed because 2 of the men that I said were, you know, ugly or homely or, you know, not as good looking as those girls, they didn't match them. They were abusive. So they whooped their asses anyway. You know what I mean? A few of you thought that I was actually hating because it was a shot to my ego. By far, it is not a shot to my ego when you take a step down before me or after me. It is not gonna bother me, okay? So, and what's kind of interesting is that men get the same thing. Like if you date a girl that a lot of people think are beneath you physically, you get, you know, ridiculed for it. I've gotten it, you know what I mean? It's not, you know, anything new. But in this video, I want to talk about what see, the video was not just about that. I touched on it. But what you will notice is that people usually attract how they are feeling at the time. Someone, if they're single, you attract someone who reflects how you are feeling. And in each and every case, when the girl was with someone who was not as hot as her, she was in a very insecure moment of her life. All of them were all 4 of them that I'm thinking about, because I think I only named 2, talked about 2 yesterday. All 4 of these women were feeling down on their luck, were feeling, oh, the good looking guys, I can't get one, or I've already been cheated on several times. I'm just gonna go for a mediocre guy or a fat guy, somebody that's gonna really appreciate me. And then found out that that guy also cheated on them or beat their ass. So, what you have to remember is that when you pick a mate, the mate is a reflection of you, okay? They really are. Now, sometimes the mate can get better with time, sometimes the mate can get worse with time. Or you change into a better person or a worse person, and it's time to end the relationship. But I wanted to do this video because one of the Magnesitas posted that she stopped dealing with tall guys and she stopped dealing with good-looking guys because I think she said the older, mature, you know, less good-looking guys or whatever really appreciate them. But that's not always going to be true. I know guys that you would think couldn't pull good-looking women, that get good-looking women, or just pull a lot of women that are mediocre, average, and they cheat all the time. What I'm trying to say is, no matter who you pick, if you have a negative outlook on dating, you're going to continue to get negative outlooks. Like, I know a couple of white women who swore that they would never date black men again because the black men were cheating on them. And then when they started dating white men, the white men were cheating on them. Your mate is a reflection of yourself, and I can admit that with myself. Some of the most beautiful women that I've dated, I met when I was in a good mood, really good, feeling great about myself. Found someone who reflected my own outer appearance, and they were confident. They were very secure women, and thinking of two of them, one ended because the bitch, and I say bitch because she ended up trying to do some shit later, and I'll tell you all that story another time because it's a funny story. But she something was seriously wrong with her. And the second one, we grew apart when she went to college. That was it. The two that I'm thinking of, that the two of the best. You know, so you got to realize that the law of attraction is always at work when you are dating. You see the girl who, you know, it's funny because I've seen this happen so many times where, you know, they were with one guy and they go to the next, and as soon as they introduce him, before they introduce him to their girlfriends, they're apologizing for him. They're like, girl, look, I know he ain't the finest thing in the world, but he treats me good. And this and that and this and that. And a lot of times they get married and the marriage still don't work out. Why? Because you brought in something, because you lowered your standards. Why can't you get what you want? I've always believed in being able to get exactly what you want. If there's a particular type that you like, no matter what it is, whether it's good looking to other people or average to other, whatever it is that you want in a person, why can't you get it? The fact of the matter is, you allowed yourself to craft this image in your head of what you think you can get and what you think you can't get. And this type of person that looks like this is like that. And this type of person is... I can't tell you how many times I have had women tell me, when I first saw you, I thought you were a player. I thought you just were out to fuck me. And I thought you were full of yourself. And I can't believe how down to earth you are, and how humble you are, and how good of a person you are. And what? You've only had sex with that many? I could have swore you were in the hundreds or something, the way you look. It ain't always how, and yeah, the opposite's true too. So like I said, y'all thought I was being shallow in the video. I wasn't. And I was kind of hinting or trying to see if any of you would pick up on the fact that most couples match. And when they don't match physically, because physical attraction is usually what brings you together, you usually, and it's scientific, most of the time you will only pick a person that is on par in your head physically with you. This happens time after time after time after time. And the only time people pick someone that's quote unquote less than them physically is because either they saw something else because they got to know the person, or they felt down about themselves. They felt homely or below average or ugly or whatever, or fat, whatever it is, they felt in their head, and they attracted an outward reflection of themselves. I'm telling you, that's what it is, and I've been through it. And what's interesting is that there was a very, very low point in my life about 15 or 20 years ago. I just got done dating one of the hottest girls I'd ever pulled. And when this was interesting. I was not confident in my head, but outwardly I looked like I belonged with her. But she was very confident, she was very secure, and she knew she looked good. And I ended up in the friend zone with her. A few months later, I attracted someone who definitely outwardly reflected who I was inside. She was mediocre, insecure. She was ratchet, although I don't think I was ghetto at the time. And it's just really interesting that I attracted just exactly who I was supposed to attract. And what's funny is she got a lot better when she got older. She realized exactly what she was, just like I did. She came into her confidence, and I came into my confidence years after, you know, we were together and stuff like that. And it's just really interesting. But today, she is still the same person. While I haven't remained that, I grew into my confidence, and I truly learned how to become a confident person. But she still, to this day, is insecure, fucked up, depressed. And that's what a lot of you are philosophers on my channel, and I know that a lot of you pick up on what I'm talking about in my videos. And that's exactly what it was. These gorgeous, secure women had very insecure, bad times in their lives. And that's exactly what and they're not with any of these men anymore. None of them. You get what I'm saying? That's why I was telling y'all, like, yeah, like, this is not a shot to my ego. Look, if you downgrade after me, I'm laughing at you, okay? Because chances are, if a relationship ends between me and you gave up, because I will work till the end on a relationship. I will do whatever it takes to make a relationship work. And if I end a relationship with you, you bet there's a serious fucking problem in the relationship. So, that's all I want to say. I just want to clear the air so y'all knew I wasn't hating. I will never hate on a guy that really doesn't take pride in taking care of himself like I do, raising himself to the next level. And while that may sound arrogant or conceited, it's not. It's not. I take pride in my appearance and who I am mentally and physically, health-wise. I do. And, you know, if a girl goes from me to someone else who's, you know, a step down, trust me, he's a step down in a bunch of other areas too. I had a girlfriend that took a step down because she thought that this one guy had something that I didn't. It ended up that he had one thing that I didn't, and he lacked a whole lot of everything else. And it was just like, why would you do that? Why don't you just go for, if you're gonna leave me for somebody that's got one characteristic that you want, why don't you get everything that I have plus that? Why don't you go with a guy like that? Like, why would you downgrade? Like, I'm telling you, I'm telling y'all, I'm never going to downgrade on women. Okay? I'm getting as good or better as what I previously had. That is what I've always been like at the end of relationships. I'm going to get as good or better. Period. That's what I'm going to do. And that's physically, mentally, and everything else. Like, I'm not going to get a hot woman who's, you know, like a dingbat upstairs, or, you know, can't think, you know, I can't have intelligent conversations with her. Someone who doesn't have any gusto, no ambition. Like, I'm not getting with a woman that wants to be a kept woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you just weren't getting what I was trying to say. And I think in this society we've been taught so much, oh, it's what's inside that counts, that, you know, yeah, but what's the truth of the matter? Physical attraction is what attracts you first. And you only attract you only want what you feel is physically on par with yourself. Okay, so you may like this video, you may not like the video, but I'm telling the truth. And like I said, it's scientific. So anyway, final thing I want to say is, whoever you are, male or female, go after what you want. Always make a list of everything that you want in your head, not what you don't want. When you say to yourself, I want a man who is attractive, who is in great shape, who's in great health, who adores me, who is intelligent, who comes from a great family, who loves children, all this stuff. That's how you want to do it. You don't want to say, I want a man who doesn't smoke, who doesn't beat me, because that's negative thinking. You're thinking about what you don't want. You have to think about what you do want. That's how you get what you want, okay? So don't ever drop your standards, ever. Magnusites, Magnusitas, don't drop your standards because you think you have to settle or compromise in some form or fashion to be happy. You do not. And that's exactly the way I think. I guarantee y'all, I will not compromise ever again in my life. Have I? Yes. Have I lowered my standards before? Yes. It won't happen again. I guarantee you. 1 million subscribers. Woo!